There's about 3 players that were arrested for Chelsea, or max 4. I don't know what Chelsea fans were on Maresca for. And if you are a Chelsea fan, you really watch this game today, forget about the emotions of losing the game. You could see that the Chelsea players were not physically on it. And the reason is because of the level of energy that they put in the 2 big games they played last week. On Wednesday they played against Barcelona 3-0. Or was it there 3-0? And on Sunday they played against Arsenal. So those 2 games took a lot from these players.
Watch Tranzeet TV right now.
Tranzeet Sports TV back again. Midweek fixtures is that time of the season. These fixtures come thick and fast. And we have some games today already. We have a few yesterday. Manchester City yesterday narrowly won Fulham 4-5. And today the fixtures continue. The rundown of the results so far. The results today: Arsenal beating Brentford 2-0 at home. Brighton lost at home to Aston Villa 4-2, who came from 2 goals down. And Burnley lost at home to Crystal Palace 1-0. Wolves, I'm sure, relegated 2 points from 13 games now. 14 games, and they're losing at home to Nottingham Forest 1-0. And Leeds beat Chelsea 3-1. A surprise result of this midweek. And Liverpool playing at a 1-1 draw at Anfield with Sunderland. But for the sake of today's video, we're going to talk about Chelsea, we're going to talk about Arsenal, we're going to talk about Liverpool. I think that should be about it. Let's start with Chelsea. I see a lot of Chelsea fans in some of the groups that I belong hammering on Maresca for resting players, and I've been telling them it's that time of the season where coaches cannot just but rest players. One, some of these players are not strong enough to play every 3 days for consecutive weeks. For instance, somebody like Chris James, who know his injury history, he probably cannot, stretch him that much every 3 days. You have Caicedo, whose absence was forced because he got this straight red card against Arsenal over the weekend, so he's going to miss 2 straight matches. And Santos had to come in. And who else was rested? I think Badesi came in for Chalobah, who has been a mainstay for Chelsea all through the season in that centre-back position. I don't think there was any crime in resting him in this game today. On the other hand, I think who came in? Gittins came in, I believe, for Neto. So all in all, it was about 3 players that were arrested for Chelsea, or max 4. I don't know what Chelsea fans were on Maresca for. And if you are a Chelsea fan, you really watch this game today, forget about the emotions of losing the game. You could see that the Chelsea players were not physically on it. And the reason is because of the level of energy that they put in the 2 big games they played last week. On Wednesday they played against Barcelona 3-0. Or was it there 3-0? And on Sunday they played against Arsenal. So those 2 games took a lot from these players. Let's not be unreasonable and think these players are robots. They are human beings like us as well. And there was emotional, mental, and physical huge demands on these players on those 2 games that they played. And I believe that's one of the reasons why those changes were made and that Chelsea lost the game. I don't think it was because of the players that were arrested that Chelsea did not win today. Talking about Arsenal, Arsenal themselves too, if you watch the game as well, it was a little bit, they got that goal early from Mikel Merino, who is now Arsenal top goal scorer since the calendar year. And he has now scored in 21 or 23 goals in all competitions, including his country, for the season, for the year so far. And Arsenal has now gone 18 games unbeaten, winning, I think, 15 of those games, drawing 16 and drawing 2. So yeah, I was a little bit, as an Arsenal fan, I was a little bit worried about this game because Brentford is a very, very stubborn team. And they are beginning to master how they play. Obviously, they have the most dangerous throw-in in EPL. But again, they were forced to rest players because they're not used to playing midweek and weekends. And one of my biggest fear, Igor Thiago, their striker, who I didn't rate, but has been in fine form lately. I thought it was going to be a big ask for Mosquera and Hincapie to handle him this today, but somehow he was rested. I believe Ugu mentioned something to me, which I think is very. I don't know what you think about this. That their coach apparently looked at it that the Arsenal game as a free hit and rested this player so that he knows the players, the games he goes all that. That's the teams around him and in relegation zone, people that if he gets result over them, it pushes him a little bit further the table. So he had to rest players so that, and just make it a free hit against Arsenal. And I think that makes sense to me. Probably that's what Brentford did. But one thing I give Brentford credit for today is they were not organized, but I think they will try to go man to man against Arsenal, and they did that a little bit good. They put Arsenal on pressure, but what that did was take away structure from them. So they were not organized defensively and couldn't get men behind the ball. Arsenal was able to play through them, but somehow it was still not very easy for Arsenal to create clear-cut chances. Though they created chances, they could have won this game a lot easier and a lot earlier. But they held it, they left it too late. I'm talking about Arsenal. Mikel Arteta himself has rested some players. Maresca came in for Saka, while Odegaard started today ahead of Eberechi, Eze, and who again during Timber was rested for Ben White. Ben White, who had a very magnificent game, won the player of the match, got his assist for the first goal as well, played 90 minutes. Obviously, I think he wouldn't have played 90 minutes had Mosquera not got injured today and Timber came in for him. So apparently, that's what made Ben White play all 90 minutes today. I had a very terrific game today as well. Noni Madueke as well had some very good flashes, especially in the first half. But I believe that Noni needs to work on his end product. His end product is still very, very poor. Build up very well, good. He can take on a player, he can run on defenders, he can manufacture one or two things. But when it comes to that final pass, that taking shot, that scoring of goals is still lacking in that area. But if you want to break the game down, Arsenal, one of the things that I found out today, from the beginning, I told someone that was watching the game with that Raya was not looking settled in the game. And he kept going long on all the goal kicks. I don't know if it was instruction from Arteta or that Raya doesn't really trust Hincapie and Maresca, which I don't really blame him because these two are just, this is their second start together as a pairing. So it's going to take some understanding for them, that back five or Raya and both of them to get that understanding. So those long balls played into the Brentford's hand. Mikel Merino was the first nine for Arsenal. So the Brentford centre house, we are obviously free, except once in a while Martinelli tries to go through the middle. So those long balls didn't really always came back. And but shout out to Mikel Merino. He has really grown to become a very, very important player for Arsenal. Not just because of his goals, but he was a player that I used to really be frustrated with in the midfield, giving away passes and not being strong on the ball. But he has really now grown into being ready for the physical battles and not losing balls. And even his technical brilliance has also come in. I saw that Zubimendi, looked a little bit jaded in this game as well. Declan Rice as well. Eventually, he was off. I don't think that was a major injury. I think it was just cramp. He was just knackered. And that was about it. Arsenal just had what you might call professional performance. It wasn't that good. I was a little bit I wasn't confident as the game was going because I have watched Arsenal and I've watched EPL for a long time. When you have a game in your hand like that you're creating chances and you're taking them, you're leading just with one goal, solitary one goal. Most of the time it comes to haunt you in the second half. But somehow, Arsenal was able to hold on and as well get their winning goal through Bukayo Saka in the last minute. Though Saka should have started that ball in early enough for Eucharist to get his tap in, but Saka decided to go solo after he had missed a couple of chances himself. So Arsenal opened up a 9 points gap between them and Chelsea today, and obviously went back to 5 points between Arsenal and Manchester City, who are in second position. Aston Villa, on the other hand, came from 2 goals down and beat Brighton 4-2. Another game for today was Liverpool against Sunderland at Anfield. Again, Liverpool fell into win today. Van Dijk in a very, 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 very shameful form at the moment, giving away that ball that Sunderland used to score. And the EPL, EPL record signing, Tranzeet finally got his first goal for Liverpool. A very beautiful goal. But again, Anna Slot is still not out of the woods. And if this continues, who knows what is going to happen. So let me know what you think. You think it's proper? Are you one of the fans out there that feel that coaches should not be resting players, play them until they get injured and not able to play again? Or should players be given some rest, considering the way these fixtures are coming in? Especially Chelsea fans out there, do you think it was Maresca resting of player, or maybe loss of Caicedo, or maybe just physical demands of the last 2 games that Chelsea played that made them to lose this game? And the Arsenal fans out there, what did you make about this game today? Who was the man of the match? I think Merino for me was man of the match. They gave it to Ben White. And I will see you again next time. Ciao.